Hey guys, so I wanted to show you the new Revolution Nudes palette. It's part of their I Heart chocolate bar palette range. I can't remember what number this is, whether or not this is like number 14 or 15 or 16. There's just so many, it's just ridiculous. But we're going to be doing some swatches of this palette. I've created this look using this palette and I want to tell you my overall thoughts about it. So first of all, as you can see, it falls in line with the I Heart chocolate bar palette packaging. All of them look like this. They are a hard plastic palette with chocolate bar blocks, which are then melted into the rest of the palette. Now, it has a huge mirror on the top, as you can probably see, but this one is a little bit different from the rest of them. The rest of them normally have like one huge highlighter or mega shadow here and here, and then the rest of them are small shades like this one. And instead they have done this with just all small shades, so you get 18 shades instead of having two huge shades and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 smaller shades. So you get more eyeshadows with this one. Also, what they've done is they've printed the names onto the palette itself rather than having the plastic sheet. They do still have the plastic sheet to protect the mirror from the shadows, but it doesn't have any of the names printed on it like all of the other palettes do. So it looks like they're changing up just a little bit. I believe this was $8.99 if I remember correctly, and it smells like chocolate, just like all of the rest of their palettes that smell like chocolate. So now we're gonna do some swatches. So this is just a selection of a few of the shades. This isn't every single one. And the reason for that is because a lot of these shades are quite similar to one another. For example, I feel like this shade here and this shade here are very, very close. This shade and this shade are quite close. This shade and this shade is quite close. Although it's not exact, they're quite close to one another. So I don't feel like swatching every single one of them is going to be like, you're not going to see much of a difference in my opinion. Now overall, I feel like when I was using this palette, and I am going to be posting the tutorial of how I've come up with this look, but when I used especially this shade here, Birthday Suit, this peachy pinky shade, it blended out so well and it was just an easy shadow to use. But when it came down to using the shade here, Brazen, I found that I had to work a little bit more with it because it just was not moving. You can see it here on the very corner. And even though it's a very, very beautiful shade, it required some effort. So I feel like some of them are hit and miss. I don't feel like these are any different to their other palettes. I don't feel like this one is any better or any worse. Their shimmers are quite creamy, just like the other shimmers are. I feel like if you already have a palette that has a lot of these shades in it, I don't feel like you're going to need this. But if you were a beginner in makeup and you just wanted a neutral, natural palette, then it will probably be worth getting it because it's only $8.99 and you get to work with some really natural, beautiful colors to create some really natural looks without breaking the bank, really. And you know that I'm all about that affordable life. I'm not trying to spend crazy coin, but I will if I have to. But I don't feel like this is like a must-have in your collection. I don't feel like anything in the I Heart chocolate bar palette range is a must-have. Even though there are palettes that I prefer, I don't think that you've got to have it. It's just, you just don't. I mean, if you wanted the cheaper versions of certain palettes, like for example, they have the peaches, the chocolate and peaches, or peaches and chocolate palette, which is to resemble the peach palette from Too Faced. If you didn't want to spend the money on the Too Faced one and you just wanted to get a cheaper option, then it's there. But I don't feel like it's a staple of your collection, like you must have this range. I am a collector of these palettes, so I'm always going to be buying them. And I have kind of decided that the mini chocolate bar palettes that they have come out with, I am going to get them to compare them to their bigger sisters in the range. So that video will come soon at some point. As I said earlier, I do believe that this is like a dupe of the Viseart Trist palette, and I did not see it straight away. I didn't see it straight away until I started using it. I was kind of like, hold on, this looks like the Trist palette a little bit, but with a few more shades. But I have compared it just by looking, and I definitely see that there's something to compare there, most definitely. So my overall thoughts on this palette, do I feel that this is like a staple, a must-have? No, I don't, but I feel that for the price, if you were just looking for a very affordable, natural, everyday palette, then yes, do go for it. But aside from that, I don't feel like it's the next best thing. It's, you know, gonna completely change the makeup game. It's not. It's just not. If you're already a collector, get it, definitely. Like I am. Like I'm always gonna buy their palettes. I'm always gonna buy them. It's just how it goes. Anyway, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.